Hi, I'm Phil Quarta, and welcome back to Planet. I want to start off by saying thank you for being patient with me. I had a few other projects and things going on in my life that demanded my full attention, and now we're back, and my hope is that going into 2025, we can keep things consistent and bring you new content week over week. So with all that said, I want to talk about our latest guest, Israel Colon, in this week's Debrief video. So I had met Iz through a friend of ours, mutual friend of ours, Rob Boyd, who was also on another episode of Planet. And while I was doing his interview, he had said, you have to meet Iz. He is such a cool guy. He's one of my best friends, and he's got a really interesting story. So I had met Iz for coffee, and we sat down, and I think it was probably about 5 to 10 minutes into it, I was like, yep, this is definitely going to be somebody who's going to be on the show. So Iz is a poet and jiu-jitsu instructor, and I had the pleasure of sitting in on one of his classes with Project Bluebird, as well as one of his training sessions at Daniel Gracie Delco, And also he was gracious enough to bring me into his home. I got to meet his family, and I gotta say, the fact that somebody has gone through what he has and made it out the other side is just flat out inspiring. I mean, to be involved in a violent home invasion and to also be a witness in a murder case and to still kind of have the wherewithal to persevere and to build a life for yourself that anybody would be envious of. I mean, this is somebody who just cares. Every single facet of his life. He cares about his daughters and his wife. He cares about all of his students on both the Project Bluebird side and also on the jiu-jitsu side. And I gotta say, we need more people like him. And I think one of the things I really want to talk about is this element of uncertainty. And, back in 2021, I had the pleasure of working on a documentary about first responders with PTSD. And everybody's situation was unique, but held one kind of central truth, that bad things happen sometimes. And unfortunately, there needs to be people to be there for people when they happen. And the one thing about Iz that I feel bad for is I don't know if anybody was there for him except for himself. And that's definitely a testament to his own spirit and perseverance, but he was cognizant enough to understand that regardless of what was going on, he needed to get it out. And that's where the writing came in and the poetry. And, by his own telling of his story, he would be up late with insomnia and, writing until the poison was out. And then he would get a little sleep and it would continue. And it was the building of that habit that really was the fuel for getting him through. And the ability to recognize how powerful that was and wanting to not only share that with the world, but also to teach kids that may be in similar situations or may not have the support structure to give them the outlet to talk about it, to be able to say, here are the tools, to be able to just exist and try to just quell some of that pain. It's flat out inspiring. It's almost heroic in a way, because most of the people who get to learn from him won't have to do it maybe as alone as he did. And on the flip side of that, also teaching people of all ages the importance of self-defense. I mean, unfortunately, bad things do happen. And to not feel so powerless is amazing. And the fact that he's helping people cultivate those tools as well is just, it's unbelievable. And if you haven't watched Iz's video, I would definitely say do that. And if you know anybody that just needs somebody, please feel free to reach out to him or reach out to his organization with Project Bluebird, or if you want to build some self-confidence, get in the gym at Daniel Gracie Delco and take a class with him. And he's super personable. So there is, I don't know, the level of approachability is something that I find to be very comforting. And so, I want to say thank you so much for sharing your story with me and with the world, and for everything that you do to give back to communities and people of all walks of life.